Good morning, everyone. It's Mrs. Strain here, Michelle Strain, and I just have been thinking a lot about anxiety right now in this time, and wanted to be really candid with you about my experience with anxiety. I have personally struggled with anxiety most of my life, starting when I was a little girl, and over the years, I've learned to manage and cope with anxiety better. And I wanted to share with you, though, that I have really struggled a few times with anxiety in relation to this time period that we're in during the pandemic. Over the weekend, I found myself one evening home by myself, which has been unusual, but I was home by myself and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I was really scared and thought maybe that I was getting COVID 19. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I was just really struggling with anxiety. Um, I wanted to give you a few practical steps that I used during that time to help calm myself, and maybe it would help you at some point too. So, the first thing I did was acknowledge that I was having anxiety and talk to myself internally and just decided that I this was anxiety, that I wasn't ill, that I had no other symptoms, but it was just something that I was struggling with, and worked to control my breathing. I did a couple of breathing exercises and I felt better. Two, another thing that I did was got up and moved around. Part of what happens when you have anxiety or a panic attack is your body is filled with adrenaline, and that can really cause a lot of somatic symptoms. It could cause a headache or your stomach to be upset, or for you to feel generally unwell. And that is exactly what happened to me. So I got up and moved around and burned off some of that adrenaline, so I was not struggling quite so much. Three, I talked to someone that I was close to who could help me. And I was able to just share with them that I had experienced some anxiety, and it made me feel better knowing that somebody else knew what I was struggling with. And it was somebody that could really relate to my feelings and how I felt and had anxiety as well. And that was really a huge comfort to me. Those practical steps really went a long way. And it's not been the only time that I've struggled with anxiety during this epidemic, this pandemic, but it was probably the scariest. So the time since then that I've started to feel kind of short of breath and anxious, I've owned it and just decided, this is anxiety. This is what I'm dealing with right now. I have excellent reason to be anxious because of all that we're going through, to be kind of locked in your own home, to be having to wear a mask in public. All of those things are very real and can be very scary. So if you are struggling with anxiety during this time, know that you're not alone, and there are steps that you can take to help yourself out. And I would encourage you to talk to someone who understands what you're going through so they can commiserate with you and maybe share their own personal experiences with you as well. You guys, we are going to get through this together. It's going to be okay. And I know that we're in this together. Hope you guys have a great day.